Hello, and welcome back to our Blood Rush League qualifier matches. We've got Hadria versus the one and only, my favorite team in the whole world currently, Goon Platoon. I'm casting with the lovely Jen. Say hi, Jen.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, quite a quick hit coming through onto our Steve here. And just to make it clear, Goon Platoon is a team that is just delving their foot into comp, having some fun, just a group of friends having fun at the end of the day. And that's all that matters. So they've come out here today to play the Wraith Midwich set, and it looks like quite an early down coming through onto our Steve. Quite unfortunate, and being hooked in the basement. It is looking rough so far.
That was a very unfortunate, quick early down there for the Steve. But I do want to mention we see our Wraith is running Bamboozle, I believe.
Yeah, if he is, I didn't see his build, but if he is running BAM, that is a really good choice here. Raven running a pretty beautiful chase so far, but unfortunately getting hit through the pallet due to the crossping. It looks like Philly here just going to be working the 7 room gen. Yeah, look, how do we feel about this build having both BAM and Sloppy?
It could actually be quite beneficial here for Casco.
Yeah,
There
definitely.
are quite a fair few really good window vaults in Midwich that our Wraith could definitely very much benefit from Bamboozle.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. I'm not too sure about the sloppy choice, but it looks like our survivors are giving in a few early tags and allowing our killer to go between survivors and get those tags through. So it's honestly getting the value that it deserves. But on an M1 killer like Wraith here, whose mobility is also quite low on a map like Midwich, if survivors do play well, it's honestly getting its value, and I'm really happy with the choice so far from what I've seen.
Absolutely, and as we see, the Steve was on his second hook was our first pain res.
Yeah, and it looks like we're kicking our survivors off the 7 gen as we hook down in the 8 hallway, and it's really looking rough for our survivors. I don't think we noticed the hook, but now we find it, and that won't be a painter as used. Our only painter is being on the lovely Steve here. An unhook coming through onto Steve, but our Meg gets body blocked as she tries to make her way out of the scene. And unfortunately, that'll be Raven on the ground, Jen's on the hook, and Chip in his final chase. Very unfortunate. That'll be Chip out of the game at 5 gens. How do we feel, Jen?
That is very unfortunate start for our survivors here. Yeah, having one survivor on the well, two survivors on the ground, one hooked, and now picking up our Steve, and unfortunately, yeah, now our Steve is out of the game.
Yeah, looking a little treacherous for the survivors of Goon Platoon here. And it looks like that'll be Raven on his first hook currently. 0 gens have popped. It's looking quite rough in a 3v1 situation. I think the best our survivors will be able to do here, if they play this beautifully, is pop a gen or two. So it's really looking hard here. It looks like Philly just gets tagged now as he runs down the 8 hallway. And now we're going to see how he's going to be able to play this filler on the cross ping. Looks like he's greeting this beautifully. Good greed, opting to drop, ults the pallet, good patience, but unfortunately it's just not enough for Casco here. Sorry, for Philly here, Casco just playing this beautifully, opting to slug Philly and go back to Raven and Jens as he knows that those are his last two survivors who are injured. So he really doesn't have to worry too much about pressure, as we do see both survivors running down the same hallway here. How do we feel about this, Jen?
Yeah, well, Casco opting to slug Philly there and deny our other two survivors from being able to get a reset there is actually a beautiful call.
Yeah, definitely agree. And it looks like we're just opting to pick Raven. Raven will be on Death Hook now, and Philly is still on the ground. We know where Philly is, but it looks like Philly just gets picked actually, so we know where both of our survivors are. It's really going to be hard to even stand a chance at popping a gen anymore in this situation. So we'll see what our survivors are able to do for the remainder of this trial.
And we see Casco here starting this chase here with our Kate.
Oof, beautiful greed from our Kate here. Jen's just playing this beautifully, but we're just opting to leave, go up the library, and go back to our hook here. Yeah, making our way back to our hook here, checking on our 7 gen, seeing if anyone's touched that. Looks like no one has. Just gonna be able to hold the hook through this hallway in the 8 hallway and see if we can spot anyone out, spot anyone making their way to the hook.
I think I just heard a little bit of generator progress happening on bathroom generator.
Yeah, I think our survivors are just going to have to try their best to even pop a single gen. But as we say that, Philly is spotted out trying to play for the pool, coming in a little bit too late. That'll be Philly down on the ground. And our last survivor on board being Jens. So Jens is really going to have to play patient here, try and possibly pay for a pick, or even try and greet a generator if he has any progress on the board. So it's really looking hard for our serves here.
Absolutely, and as we can see, Casco is currently choosing to slug Philly. Unfortunately, scratch marks from Jens is yeah, giving away her location.
Oof, that is Oppa, that is just very, very rough. That is Jen's being put on a hook, and I believe this game is just gonna conclude in a 4K5 as unbreakable. Any perks to pick yourself up aren't really allowed on a C tier set like Wraith. So how do you feel about what we've seen so far, Jen?
It was, yeah, very, very unfortunate for our survivors here. Casco played very well, played very patiently. And for these survivors, like just dipping their toes into the competitive scene, they should be they should be impressed with their courage to enter tournaments and give it a shot and have some fun with it.
Yeah, definitely agree with you, Jen. Looks like we're just gonna be looking for Philly here. And yeah, Goon Platoon really trying their hardest considering the circumstances. It is at the end of the day just a bunch of friends trying to have some fun, and that's all that matters really. When coming and delving your feet into the competitive scene, you don't always need to play for a win. You're just playing to have fun, playing to have a laugh with some friends. And that's what I love about these guys. Yeah, it looks like we find Philly here. Very, very unfortunate. So the 4K5 will be secured. No bleed outs in play either. So yeah, very, very good performance from Casco for Hadria. And Goon Platoon is really just going to have to 4K5 to even tie this set. So we'll be back after a short intermission with Hadria's Survivors and Goon Platoon's Killer. Hello, hello, and welcome back to the second half of our first and final set of tonight of Goon Platoon versus Hadria. We do see Goon Platoon's killer here being Raven, having to secure a 4K5 tie condition with a win condition being non-existent. So it's really, really unfortunate for Goon Platoon, but Raven's just out here to have some fun, and that's all that really matters tonight. So let's just see what Raven's able to do here. Looks like Ace, which is Tavo here, is going to be taking our first chase and getting a hit. Quite an early hit coming in from Raven. Respect for that. Playing this beautifully so far. Getting a little bit lost, but just continuing to take the chase over on the 7 side of the map. And let's see what we're going to be able to do here. Beautiful fake from Raven. Getting the pallet broken out of the way instantly, which is a very, very good pallet to get out of the way too. And it looks like our Ace is just going to be holding W here to the Godfiller 11, dropping the Godfiller, and we'll be holding W upstairs. How do we feel about this chase so far, Jen? I don't think Jen's with us so far, but it's all good. We're getting the miss onto Tavo, so it's looking quite rough now for Raven, as our survivors really only have to pop one generator to secure their win con. So the Ravens just really out here gonna have to try and play for the best result that they possibly can, as Tavo plays the one room here. Tavo just playing this beautifully, dying on the pallet. I believe someone might be nearby for a pallet save. It's possible, but it looks like Raven is aware of that and will be going around and looking, seeing if he can spot out any survivors nearby.
As we
Yeah,
can see here, first generator's been done. We've got Tavo currently slugged. No other injures so far just yet.
yeah. How do we feel about the choice of opting to play for slugs here instead of hooking anyone?
I definitely think that going in for the hook would have possibly been a good call. Although adding that little bit of extra pressure on the survivors here to then go and pick up their teammate.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah, I get what you mean, because then Survivor has to stop working the gen, go pick up the teammate as someone else starts a chase. But also, with a win con so steep, you want to try and get those pain res hooks in, but he might have not had good pain res RNG. That's what I say with pain res. Like, it's really really hard to get good luck with the pain res on a map like mid, which it looks like a Cord here playing this chase beautifully. Only one bottom filler, greeding when needed to greed, and look, we see another beautiful greed come through, being able to play this one more time before opting to finally drop it. Very, very good stuff from Cord here.
unfortunately, Tavo has already been picked up and reset. So yeah, Raven has lost a little bit of pressure here.
Yeah, Raven's really gonna have to do something because the win con is was a 4K. Well, sorry, the Tycon was a 4K 5, so there's no meeting that. We know Goon Platoon's out now, but he's just gonna have to try his best to secure something here. And Cord just running this chase beautifully, opting to actually break this filler instead of continue committing to Cords. But we're just gonna opt to catch up here, giving Cord some distance to be able to make I believe the 5 God filler. Yeah, he should be able to make this. And if he doesn't make it, he'll die on it. No, but it looks like he'll be able to make this beautifully. Just opting to break here and continue committing to Cord. Cord is just playing this out of his mind right now. And Raven is just unable to catch up, but I believe now from the 5 to 8 side of the map, it's quite dead now, considering that everything has been dropped. But is that a hit tank I see? I think we might see a hit tank here. But look, the greed on this is just insane. Our survivors are just playing this beautifully, and now our survivors are able to come through for a hit tank, but Cord is just able to hold W to the 6 side of the map, possibly make it into courtyard to something. It's very, very possible, but no. Cord unfortunately goes down here. Pick comes through, but is that a flashlight save I see coming through onto Cord from Casco, just playing beautifully on the survivor side here. Our killer Raven is just really they have it out for Raven tonight. It's very, very unfortunate for Raven, but we're gonna have to see what he can do here as Cord is able to extend this chase and go to a much more alive side of the map as the hit tank comes through from Casco here. Very, very good stuff from our survivor team. How do we feel about this coordination, Jen?
Oh, very, very, very good coordination here
Yeah,
from our
definitely.
survivor team.
Now Cord's just able to play the OP windows, holding W to the filler here. And oh my god, I have no words for the way that this guy is playing right now. Cord is just having the juicer chase of his life, playing this beautifully. And I believe he does not make that very unfortunate. But Cord having a beautiful chase, 0 stages across the board as all 5 gens get popped. It is really looking quite grim for Raven. But Raven's just gonna have to try and secure as many stages as possible. Possibly a 3 stage, possibly a 6 stage if he can catch someone else. But I believe we're just going to be opting to stand in front of the hook and play for the 6 stage result. Oh, sorry, for the 3 stage result.
Very, very well played here from our survivors. The coordination that we saw was just absolutely amazing. Raven definitely had his work cut out for him with the coordination with this team. Like,
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, but also in my point of view, that is just major props to Raven coming out here, not too shy to show off their skill and their talent, and the fact that they're still learning how to get into comp. And it was very, very nice to watch, seeing a new team versus an experienced team. It is rough. It is rough. I won't lie, but I'm pretty sure it was an amazing amount of prac for Raven and his team on Goon Platoon here. But it looks like we do see 3 survivors walking in a conga line here, playing for the triple save. And it looks like we're going to be taking the kit onto our onto Casco here and trying to commit to Casco to get the possible 2 freshes. It's going to be hard though. Casco's exit gate is here. Is he able to... Oh, and Ace is coming in for a body block. Oh my god, so beautifully done. So close yet so far. That is so unfortunate for for Goon Platoon, sorry. And that'll be Raven, unfortunately, securing a one stage here. Very, very unfortunate, but I'm so, so proud of Goon Platoon for coming out tonight and putting on their best show, considering that they're much newer to comp. Anything else to add, Jen?
Yeah, Goon Platoon should be very proud of their confidence to even take a step in, have some fun, just get together with a couple of mates, and yeah, just give it their best shot. They played really well.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. Both sides on Hadria and Goon Platoon played amazingly. So that will conclude our qualifying matchup with Hadria moving on to Blood Rush League Season 3 and Goon Platoon being eliminated from the season. So thank you for watching. And that is all.